Oh my god. Thor. Just Thor. Hey, I'm Amy and welcome back. I just went and saw Thor Ragnarok and I am so happy. This is probably my favorite Marvel movie so far. I do think Black Panther will top it, but we will see as long as it holds up to the trailers like Ragnarok did. I can't tell if I like it so much because of how hyped I was on the trailers, but I think if I was so hyped on the trailers and then this wasn't good, it would not have been as good. I would be very disappointed. So let's just say that the trailers did do this movie justice, and they did not show everything. Like, most of the time trailers show the entire movie and you go in and you know exactly what's happening. You've seen it all before. But no, this did not do that. Thor Ragnarok did not do that. It's also a very long movie. It's almost 2.5 hours, I think. 136 minutes is a little over 2 hours. 2 hours and like 10 minutes or something. But it did not feel like that. I even stayed through all the way to the bonus scene at the end of the credits. Like, it did not feel as long as it was. Thor Ragnarok is directed by Taika Waititi, who is of Flight of the Conchords fame. He did an amazing job, and I really hope he stays on to do multiple films with Thor, which I know he has said in an interview that he would like to. Let's just hope that Disney and Marvel give him this, because I would be so happy. In previous lives, well, actually in this life, but with previous Thor movies, I have not been a huge fan. If I ranked any of the movies, it would be Thor Dark World, and then Thor would be my bottom two. Every single Thor movie has been not good to me. I've not liked any of them. So going into this, I was super excited to finally have a Thor movie that I was excited about and that I wanted to see. I only went and saw the other two Thor movies because they tied into the MCU in general. So I knew it was kind of important that if I wanted to see Avengers or Captain America or Iron Man or anything else, I would have to see that. Thor Ragnarok stars, of course, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Cate Blanchett as Hela, Jeff Goldblum as Grandmaster, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, Idris Elba as Heimdall, Mark Ruffalo as, of course, Bruce Banner / the Hulk, Anthony Hopkins as Odin, and this is probably my favorite picture of Anthony Hopkins ever. It's still a paparazzi took on set. And Karl Urban as Scourge, which I didn't even know Karl Urban was going to be in this movie. And Benedict Cumberbatch even makes a small appearance as Doctor Strange. But my favorite character in this entire thing is Korg, who was voiced by Taika Waititi, and he probably, I think, even plays him in a mocap suit, which would have been really cool if that's true. I don't know for sure, but Korg is probably the funniest, and you can kind of get Taika Waititi's New Zealand accent a little bit in between some of it. It does kind of slip in there, but it's still, it's hilarious. It's so good. Just see it for him alone is. And not only is this a Thor movie, it is also a Hulk movie, kind of. It's more Thor than Hulk, but Hulk plays a very big part in this. As the trailer suggests, this movie is very heavily influenced by the 80s. Like, it even starts off with an 80s styled monologue from Thor. The soundtrack and the score are both heavily influenced by 80s electronic music and 80s rock music. Like the Led Zeppelin song that plays throughout the entire trailer and plays twice in the movie during probably two of the coolest scenes. And not to mention, the Grandmaster's entire world pretty much is so 80s. It's bright and colorful and fluorescent, and everything in the Grandmaster's palace just looks like it was pulled out of the 80s. It's insane, and if you have a love for the 80s, it's just a perfect feast for your eyes. Hela is a new character that is brought into the Thor universe and played by Cate Blanchett, and she looks so good. She's probably my new Marvel villain, Disney villain, I guess, because Marvel is owned by Disney. I guess would you consider Hela a Disney villain now? Either way, she's probably my new big bad of the entire universe. Not only is Thor Ragnarok a hilarious movie, it has heart. There is a running storyline between Thor and Loki and Odin that kind of just brings a little bit of heart to the Thor universe that only was really shown in the first two Thor movies between Thor and Jane, which to me was kind of a very weak storyline and one of the main reasons I didn't like the Thor side of the MCU. But there's still so much heart, and even it gets a little dark for a Marvel movie. Not super dark, but there's parts like Hela's backstory kind of is a little dark. And the action sequences are amazing. Some of the best action sequences I have seen in a Marvel movie. I mean, granted, there were some really great scenes in Captain America Civil War, like the airport sequence. I don't think any action sequence can top that for me, but there is the fight in Asgard that is really cool, and I love it so much. I feel like my thoughts have been very jumbled and random, but there's so much I just want to talk about, so I apologize for them all coming at once and out of order a little bit, because I just am so excited about this and I can't think straight. I'm just too excited and I want to talk about it. But there are a couple more things I want to talk about before I get to my rating of this. I loved pretty much every actor in this. It's super packed. There are so many great actors in this. I mean, Chris Hemsworth, this is probably one of his best performances I've seen so far. Once he takes that wig off, I think he needs to do that more often. He basically becomes a whole new actor. He's so hilarious, and I'm so glad that Taika Waititi gave Chris Hemsworth the freedom to be a funny character versus the straight-laced Thor who's always confused about everything that happens on Earth. And Mark Ruffalo played the Hulk amazingly. He usually only does like grunts and stuff as the Hulk, but he does motion capture the Hulk, I'm pretty sure. But he actually did get lines as the Hulk this time, more than just a couple little grunts or just stupid little phrases that really don't mean or do a whole lot. It was really nice to see the Hulk acting like more human because Banner had been inside the Hulk for 2 years. And Idris Elba did not disappoint. He is such a great actor. Everything he's in, I love so much, as well as Jeff Goldblum. I really hope they bring back Grandmaster for some more Marvel movies in the future. Maybe he teams up with the Collector. That would be kind of a weird mashup to see. That's pretty much everything I have on Thor Ragnarok. There is one thing I do kind of nitpickingly have against this movie, and it's totally not a big deal, but I mean, in a couple scenes when Thor and Loki are talking to Odin, they're kind of on this like bluff on the side and it's very bright and sunny, and they do this close up on the side of Loki's face and you see his sideburns and they look like fake fur just stuck on the side of his face. It was kind of weird and I really was not a fan of it. And this is a slight spoiler alert. At one point Thor has some black on his eye, like a lot of black on his eye, and the makeup was not the best in some lights. Like if it was a very brightly lit scene, you could tell that he just had his eye closed and it was painted over. Like you could see the lid touching each other. So those are just my two small nitpicky things. Other than that, super love this movie. Super love this movie. So those two little things have just no impact on me, even if it's something nitpicky that I found that bothered me a tiny bit. You all probably know exactly what I'm going to rate this movie because I've already talked about how much I love it, so you know it's definitely going into my collection, no contest. And I went into this knowing that I wanted to add it to my collection, whether or not it was good, because I'm kind of a Marvel fangirl. I honestly don't have the first two Thor movies in my collection, but they are on my list to get with the rest of the MCU, just because I want to have a complete series. I'm a completionist with my collection, so this is definitely going in there alongside every single other Marvel movie that I have and want. That is all I have for Thor Ragnarok. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments down below. Is it your favorite Marvel movie so far? Did you have another favorite? do you even like Marvel or the MCU, which you probably do if you're watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, whoever you are. I appreciate you. Let me know who you are in the comments down below and let's be friends. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe if you're new, because I love talking movies, TV shows, filmmaking, nerdy fun stuff like superhero movies. I'm going to be doing Justice League in a couple of weeks. So I hope you stick around and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!